The Pistons take on the Hornets, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Charlotte. Charlotte opened 3.5 up to 4, totals 216 up to 219. 59% of the consensus is shaded toward Detroit, 67% leaning toward the over. Right now the Pistons are plus 160, Charlotte's minus 170. Detroit is scoring 111 points per contest on the road. They're also covering 67% of their games away from home. The Pistons are 11-6 against the spread when catching the points, 6-3 against the spread as the official road underdog, and they're covering 67% of their games that were played at the current point spread. Now, Charlotte on the other side, completely different story. They've covered just 8 out of 19 when laying the points. They're also covering just 42% of their games as the official home favorite. Charlotte's allowing 110 points per contest at home. They're also covering just 33% of their ball games that were played at the current point spread. Now, total-wise, Charlotte's 2-1 to the over in their last 3. They're also 80% to the over in their games that were played at the current posted total. Meanwhile, on the Detroit side of things, they're 2-1 to the over in their last 3. So with all that said and done, I got to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Detroit plus 4 and the over 219 in that one. Next game, Cleveland, Toronto, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Raptors open 12 up to minus 12.5. Total open 206 up to 208. 65% is leaning Toronto, 79% shaded toward the over. Cleveland's plus 660, Toronto's minus 835. Now Cleveland is 2-0 against the spread in their last couple of games. They're also covering 60% of their games away from home. Cleveland's 5-4 against the spread in their games at the current number. They're also 9-6 ATS in their games as the official road underdog. Now, Toronto on the other side, they're covering just 42% of their games overall for the year. Their defense is allowing nearly 110 points per contest on their home court. Toronto did fail to cover in their last 3 straight. They've also covered just 6 out of 16 as the official home favorite. 0-4 against the spread in their games at the current number. Now, scoring-wise, Toronto 60% to the over in their games at home. Cleveland 67% to the over in their games at the current posted total. Their defense is allowing 111 points per contest on the road. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. I'm also going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Cleveland plus 13 in the over 208 in that one. Excuse me. Next game, Hawks, Knicks, 7:30 Eastern tip-off in New York, Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are 2.5, total open 230 up to 232. 62% is leaning New York, 54% shaded toward the under. Atlanta's plus 125, New York's minus 140. The Knicks have covered 2 out of their last 4. They're also 2-0 against the spread in their last couple of games against Atlanta. This New York offense is putting up 110 points per contest at Madison Square Garden. They've also covered 7 out of their last 14 at MSG. Now, on the Atlanta side of things, completely different story. They're just a bad team all around. They're bad in real life. They're bad against the number. They've won just 7 of 30 games overall for the year. They're also just 12-18 against the spread in those 30 games. And they've won just 3 out of their last 9 straight up. Now, this Atlanta defense is allowing 120 points per contest for the year. They're also covering just 33% of their games that were played at the current point spread. Now, scoring-wise, Atlanta's 3-2 to the under in their last 5, 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, New York is shooting just 43% from the field overall for the year. They're also 7-7 to the under in their games at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take the Knicks minus 2 in the over 232 in that one. Next game, Pacers, Nets, 7:30 Brooklyn. The Pacers were minus 1.5 up to minus 2.5. Total 211 down to 210 and a hook. 59 toward Indiana, 75 toward the over. Brooklyn's plus 130, Indy's minus 145. Indy is allowing 104 points on the road. They're 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. They're covering 67% of their games when laying the points. Meanwhile, on the Brooklyn side of things, they are allowing 115 points per contest on their home court. They're also covering just 47% of their games at the Barclays Center. Brooklyn's also covering just 46% of their games at the current point spread. Now, total-wise, Brooklyn is 3-2 to the over in their last 5, 3-0 to the over in their games at the current posted total. Meanwhile, on the other side, Indiana is 2-2 to the over in their last 4 at the current posted total themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Indiana -2 in the over 210.5 in that one. Next game, Magic Bulls. 8 o'clock tip-off in Chicago. Orlando opened 3 up to 3.5. Total open 204.5 down to 203. 63% on Orlando, 51% on the under. Chicago's plus 135. Orlando's minus 150. Orlando is 11-5 against the spread in their last 16. 5-1 ATS in their last 6 on the road. This Orlando defense is allowing just 104 points per contest on the road. Their opponents are shooting just 44% from the field. Now, Chicago on the other side, they're putting up just 100 points per contest overall for the year. They're shooting just 44% from the field themselves. Chicago's just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6. They're covering just 42% of their games that tipped off at the current number. Scoring-wise, Chicago's allowing 114 points per contest at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take Orlando -3 in the over 203 in that one. Next game, Bucks, Celtics, 8 o'clock tip-off in Beantown. Boston opened 1.5 down the 1. Total open 224.5 down to 223 and a hook. 57% on Boston, 51% on the under. Milwaukee's plus 102, Boston's minus 112. Boston scoring 112 points per contest at home. They've also successfully covered the number in 8 out of their last 10. Boston's 8-2 straight up in their last 10 as well. They covered 4 out of their last 5 at home. They're also covering 67% of their games at the current point spread. Milwaukee on the other side, they're covering just 38% of their games away from home. They've also covered just 4 out of their last 13. Now, scoring-wise, Milwaukee's 7-1 to the under in their last 8. They're also 80% to the under in their last 10. Boston on the other side, their defense is allowing just 101 points per contest at the Garden. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Boston -1 in the under 223.5 in that one. Next game, Timberwolves, Timberwolves, Spurs. 8:30 tip-off in San Antonio. The Spurs open 3.5 up to 4. Total 223 down to 220. 60% on San Antonio, 51% on the under. Minnesota plus 155. San Antonio minus 170. The Spurs 6-1 ATS in their last 7. 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 at home as well. San Antonio's putting up 111 points per contest at home. They're allowing just 104 points per contest on their home court. Minnesota 116 points per contest on the road they're allowing. They're also 35% against the spread away from home. The T-Wolves, 1-5 straight up in their last 6, 2-4 ATS in their last 6, 3-6 ATS in their last 9 as the road dog. Scoring-wise, Minnesota's scoring 108 points per contest on the road. That's it. They're also 11-3 to the under in their last 14 games away from home. San Antonio on the other side, 5 out of their last 6 went under the line. They're also 75% to the under in their games at the current posted total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Spurs -4 in the under 220 in that one. Next game, Jazz, Blazers, 10 o'clock tip-off in Portland. The Blazers are -2, total open 210.5 up to 213 and a hook. 57% on Portland, 52% on the under. Utah's plus 110, Portland's minus $1.25. Portland's 5-2 straight up in their last 7, 5-2 against the spread in that same category. This Portland offense is putting up 115 points per contest on their home court. They're also 12-4 straight up at the Moda Center this year, 11-5 against the spread in that same category. Utah is 0-5 straight up in their last 5 away from home, 8-12 ATS on the road as well. This Utah offense is putting up just 103 points per contest away from home. They're also covering just 37% of their games as the official road underdog. Now, scoring-wise, Utah is 12-4 to the over in their last 16 in Portland. Meanwhile, the Blazers, 75% to the over in their games at the current posted total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Portland -2 in the over 213.5 in that one. Next game, Memphis, Sacramento, 10 o'clock tip-off at the Kings. A little flip of the lines in this one. Sacramento open +1, now -2. Total 212. 56% are on the Kings. 52% shaded toward the under. Memphis is +110. The Kings are -$1.25. Now Memphis does have some guys on the injury list. We have Joakim Noah and Conley on the injured list. Those guys are questionable to probable. There's also 3 others that are questionable to probable, but I'm going to base this pick on if these guys are playing. It looks like these guys are probably going to step up and play tonight. And if that's the case, well, keep in mind, Memphis is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5, taking on the Kings. This Memphis defense is allowing just 104 points per contest on the road. They're also 8-3 straight up in their last 11 in Sacramento. And speaking of the Kings, they're just 2-4 straight up in their last 6 at the Golden One Center. They've also lost 3 out of their 4 ball games. Sacramento's 0-2 against the spread in their last couple of games. Their defense is allowing 117 points per contest on their home court. Sacramento's 5-0 to the over in their last 5, 21-10 to the over for the season. Memphis, 2 out of their last 4 got over the total as well. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Memphis +2 and the over 212 in that one. And that's going to bring me to my next and final game for the show. It is going to be Pelicans, Lakers, 10:30 Los Angeles. The Lakers open 4.5 up to 5.5. Total open 234 down to 233. 56% on the Lakers, 55% shaded toward the over. New Orleans is +180, Lakers -200. Now, if you like the Lakers in this matchup here, just keep in mind that their opponents, the Pelicans, are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6, taking on the Lakers. Their offense is putting up 117 points per contest overall for the year. New Orleans is also 8-7 against the spread when catching the points. They're also 8-6 against the spread, taking on teams over 550. Now the Lakers, well, they're covering just 46% of their games as the official home favorite. This Lakers defense is allowing 112 points per contest. They've also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5. Now, scoring-wise, the Lakers are 6-1 to the under in their last 7 at home. The Pels are 5-1 to the under in their last 6 themselves, 80% to the under in their last 5 road games. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, take the New Orleans Pelicans +6 and the under 233 in that one.